Are there alternatives besides taking drugs to help with pain? Stay tuned for our next episode of Ask Dr. McCord. Welcome back to this episode of Ask Dr. McCord, where we're going to actually discuss and talk about options besides taking medications. And I want to talk a little bit about our emphasis over the last 4 or 5 years. We've been affiliate members of the 100-Year Lifestyle, which is an exclusive group of chiropractors that are purposed toward helping people live healthier into their 80s, 90s, and 100s. And unfortunately, chiropractic has really been pigeonholed over the last 80 years or so into a category of pain. And so people that I would talk to out on the streets, or maybe that you have asked, do you have a good chiropractor on your healthcare team, which is a really good question, would say, well, my gosh, my spine doesn't hurt. I don't have pain. Why would I need to see a chiropractor? And I want to kind of set the record straight about what we really do as chiropractors. Originally, chiropractic care was more about function, and I'm going to show you a sheet here in just a moment that talks about the difference between feeling and function. Initially, when chiropractic was discovered in 1895, Dr. D.D. Palmer was actually doing research with magnetic healing, and he had one of his patients that was deaf for 18 years lay down on the table, received the first chiropractic adjustment, and interestingly, after being deaf for 18 years, after that adjustment, he regained his hearing. And interestingly, he did not have back pain. Let me repeat that again. The first chiropractic adjustment was not about back pain. Now, does that mean we don't help people with back pain? No, that's not at all what I'm saying. Initially, the whole discovery of chiropractic was based on helping people and their bodies function better, which fits right in with this whole model of living healthier throughout your whole lifetime, and the fact that you're going to be aging, and if you're going to be getting older, why wouldn't you want to take care of your health and live healthy into those later years? And so I want to talk about pain, because rarely we do on these Ask Dr. McCord episodes. We don't usually talk about pain. We're talking about how to help people live healthier. But today's episode is going to be unique because we're going to actually talk about pain. And I'm going to show you a sheet that is titled, and you'll see this blown up on your screen in just a moment, this titled Feeling versus Function. And it highlights a nerve, or a cross-section of a nerve. And just to give you a little bit of an anatomy lesson here, you see my trusted friend here as an example. This is a spinal model. It's a plastic model. The spine is made of 24 vertebrae, each separated by a structure called a disc, which is a pad of cartilage. And due to physical impacts and stresses, everything from poor posture, bad sleeping habits, injury at work or play, motor vehicle traumas, all of those life stresses can actually cause the vertebra to shift out of its normal position. Now, as you notice here, each nerve that comes off the spinal cord, and you have 31 pairs of these nerves, come off the cord and go to different parts of the body. And I'm going to feature a piece of wire, but this is really more like what your nerve system looks like. Each one of those nerves are comprised of about 350,000 nerve fibers. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is only about 10% or a mere fraction of that nerve has anything to do with pain. So the point of this is as these vertebrae get shifted out of normal position, it may or may not cause pain. So a person can be highly subluxated throughout their life from all kinds of traumas, be blocking the nerve, and they'll have no idea that they have this because their body won't be expressing spinal pain or pain in their back. And what this other larger part of the nerves do, as it's featured in this example here, is a large part run the muscles of the body, which are the motor nerves here highlighted in blue, and highlighted in yellow is what they call the autonomic nerve system, which actually controls blood vessels, organs, and glands of the body. And you'll see down, again, the fraction of the nerve here. This is the sensory nerves, which regulate your pain, hot and cold, feeling, that kind of thing. And those are called sensory nerves. So, again, the example here is only a small fraction of your nerve has to do with pain. Most of your nerve system is working to balance your body within the environment. We call it homeostasis, running over 3 million messages per second are delivered through your nerve system, keeping your body healthy and functioning from the minute you were born or conceived, actually, until the day that you die. And so that's why chiropractic care, in my opinion, makes so much sense as it relates to taking care of your health long term. But today we're going to talk about pain, and it just happens to be the start of the month of September here. And the month of September, we have a news release here from the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress. And September is known as the National Drug-Free Pain Awareness Month. And so they're going to be featuring advertisement throughout this country about the detriments of painkillers, primarily what's called opioids. And you probably have heard a lot about that in the news, that there's a tremendous amount of problems that our culture is facing because of opioid addictions. And they say that right now over 100 million people in the United States, that's a little less than 1/3 of the population, probably about 30% of our population, has some level of chronic pain. And the way traditional medicine has helped people with that is easy. They get out their prescription pad and they write a little note to say, hey, go to the drugstore, pick up these drugs, and that will take care of your pain. And that's pretty much true. It does help with your pain. Unfortunately, it doesn't fix the underlying problem, and people can get addicted to it, and then they get so addicted that they buy things off the black market, off the street, and they get addicted to it, and it destroys their life, or can. In fact, just in the time that we've talked here about this problem and opioids, is that another 4 to 5 Americans have actually died of opioid use and abuse. And so it is a major crisis right now. And where I see chiropractic coming in is because we help hundreds and thousands of people on a monthly basis dealing with pain naturally, drug-free, and it's non-addictive, and it helps people because it helps the underlying problem that people face. And so you'll be seeing features on our social media about all of this for the month of September. And I'm asking you that if you're taking some kind of pain reliever, and it may not be an opioid, it may not be hydrocodone or those kinds of detrimental abusive drugs, but it may be just ibuprofen. I just visited with a patient today that's been taking an ibuprofen drug every day for the last 10 years because of some pain that she's been experiencing. And I want to give you hope that there's actually some alternatives that you can actually do that's inexpensive, that doesn't require surgery, that doesn't require shots, it doesn't require a lot of major intervention, that you can come in, get some care, and get some legitimate help because we're going to help the bottom line. So you'll see maybe this feature. This is the top 8 things to remember. One of those things is opioids, when they're actually prescribed, are only to be prescribed for a 3-day period of time for post-surgical pain or cancer pain. That's not something that you want to get into on a week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis of being strung out on these medications because of how addictive they really are. And the other thing is, one of the things you can do is, that happens to a lot of people, is their homes get robbed. The thieves will go into the bathroom, take the medications, and that becomes an issue as well because people has continuing the addiction. And so one of the things you can actually do is, if you have leftover prescription medications, one of the things that you want to do is get rid of those, especially if they're opioids. And a couple of other things, that there are resources, we've talked about this, there are resources and health providers that actually, like chiropractors, there's other ones like acupuncturists and certainly physical therapists or naturopathic doctors that are purposed to help people naturally get through pain situations. And as Oprah Winfrey famously advises, when you know better, you actually do better. So that's the whole purpose of what we're doing here with our Ask Dr. McCord episodes. And if you like what you're hearing, we want to challenge you or ask you to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at Ask Dr. McCord, or make sure you go to a couple of our websites. I'm going to feature this other one we don't normally talk about, but it's kenteastchiro.com. That's our main website. But there's one we've set up also to help specifically with people that have symptoms like pain, called it's kenteastchiro.net. And there's a lot of really good information about what we do, about how we can help you, what your first visit would be like, some of the testing that we would actually do to help us perform better care for you. And we want to ask you to go to those websites, click on, get as much information you can, and help our culture get over this huge dilemma of opioid addiction. So the answer to the question is yes, there are great alternatives that you can seek out very inexpensively, with less of a challenge to help yourself instead of resorting to painkillers. So thanks for joining us here on this episode of Ask Dr. McCord.